Hello everybody and welcome back to the Diotti.com YouTube channel. Behind me we have the bespoke modern wall system Way 28, and this will be the subject of today's product review. Let's dive in. In Italian, the word that we use to describe wall systems with this kind of approach is a spalla, and what this means is that instead of the more minimalist bussolotto system in which the elements are separately mounted on the wall, leaving free space, the wall system is mounted against a back panel, and this is the approach that Way 28 takes. However, it's a very customizable wall system and can be perfectly paired with elements from a bussolotto system such as our collection Replay, which you can find linked above and in the description below. Just like many of our products and projects, the Way collection is extremely customizable with regards to dimensions, compositions, and finishes. Let's take a look at how this one is composed. So the total length of our specific model of Way 28 is 333 centimeters. However, this can be customized. You could opt for 273 centimeters or 293 centimeters, for example, by simply adding or taking away columns on the sides. So there's a specific reason why each of these length options ends in the number 3. So the open compartments, for example, are 42 centimeters wide, and then they have a 3 centimeter thick structural piece in the middle. And then of course the end section is also 3 centimeters. The doors are 60 centimeters wide, but the compartments inside are 57 centimeters, hence the extra 3 centimeter thick structure. Therefore, this is why the total length is 333 centimeters. So the focal point of Way 28 is created by the open TV section. In this case, the TV is suspended, but you could of course choose to place it on the TV base instead. Then behind we have the walnut boiserie, and the fact that it's installed in sections has allowed for us to insert these thin metal shelves, which are a perfect place to place ornaments and light items. So the 270 centimeter long suspended base has a solid top, but it consists of 2 separate drawers of 90 centimeters and 117 centimeters. These open easily with push-pull opening, and then you'll notice that below the suspended base, the boiserie continues and is delicately illuminated by a strip of LED lights. Depth, you'll now start to notice, plays an important role in the wall system Way 28. The depth of the TV base is 45 centimeters, meaning that it protrudes from the rest of the wall system, giving movement to the system. Turning our attention to the left of the TV base, we see that there is this beautiful glass column, delicately framed with this metal frame. In this case, we've put it, to our left of the wall system, but since you have maximum customizability, it can be placed also on the right or on both sides if you'd like. When we open it, we see that inside there are 2 57 centimeter wide drawers, and these are opened thanks to a recess underneath. They perfectly recall the TV base. Finally, we notice that there are these LED lights which have been cleverly inserted into the back of the column, and what this means is that they can beautifully illuminate the objects and the intersection of the column without being too harsh on our eyes. So between the upper section with the hinge doors and open shelving, and then the open television section, we of course have the bridge structure. And this can be customized in height according to you, depending on how much space you need for the television. Above the bridge structure, we of course have these 4 hinged doors, each with a width of 60 centimeters. And when opened, they reveal 57 centimeter wide storage compartments. Then to the right, we of course have the open shelving section, and the combination of this with the hinge doors creates a lovely asymmetrical effect. The shelving section can of course be customized in height with regards to each compartment if perhaps you have a specific ornament that's a bit taller that you'd like to incorporate into your decor, or taller books. A fun or refined detail to note is that there are no joints visible, either in the open shelving sections or even inside, and this gives a refined, overall sleek look. At this point, let's talk about the height of the Way 28. So in this case, it has a total height of 227 centimeters, but if you want, you could of course change the height, increase or reduce it, depending on, by adding or taking away shelves. This also depends on the kind of effect you'd like to create. So here you can see our wall system does not run all the way to the ceiling of the room, but if you wanted, you could create a different effect by making a wall system that almost touches the ceiling. So it's really up to you. The combination of materials and finishes that we've selected for our wall system Way 28 gives a cool, calming effect. With a TV base and structure lacquered in the matte color Magnolia. This perfectly pairs with the Canaletto walnut wood doors as well as the Canaletto walnut wood boiserie. Finally, this is all tied together by a metal frame of the glass columns which have a fumé effect in the color brown. However, these are just some of numerous finishes and materials that you can select for the Way 28 wall system, including lacquers with a glossy, matte or metallic effect, or natural wood finishes. And of course, the lacquers are available in a range of colors, all which can be found on the DRT.com site. I hope you've enjoyed today's product review on the modern, bespoke, highly customizable wall system Way 28. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe to our channel to catch more product reviews. You can also click the bell notification, of course, to hear about any new videos that we post. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.